What's up, guys? It's Brian, my lovely wife, and today's video we're just gonna let her introduce herself to you guys. I'm gonna ask her a bunch of fucking questions that she's probably gonna hate answering and think I'm fucking stupid for doing this shit. But nonetheless, here it is. Say hi, introduce yourselves to YouTube.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, Brian's wife.
Yeah, she's Stephanie, my wife. So, you guys have heard about her, man. I've talked to her, or talked about her at length in these videos that you guys have been watching for the last few months. This is her, out of jail, completely clean, and finally back to being my wife. So, we'll start with the questions. What is your clean date?
November 6th, 2019. I have 4 months tomorrow.
It's about fucking time. Did you go cold turkey, or did you go through like a Suboxone, Methadone, Subutex, Vivitrol kind of program?
I quit cold turkey in jail.
Oof. That couldn't have been very, very fun. What are your thoughts about the withdrawal? Was it as bad as you thought it would be? Was it easier than you thought? Do you think being in jail helped?
My withdrawals are never really bad. I guess I'm one of the fortunate ones because anytime I've ever withdrawn, it's never been bad. I just get kind of anxiety. I can't sleep. I don't eat for like a week. And I'm irritable and I have restless leg, but I'm not like puking and shitting myself. And I don't know, maybe it helps because I was in jail, but I've quit cold turkey before not in jail. And I don't know, it was worse the first time, I think, than the second time. And I was doing way more the second round. But I don't know, I guess I'm one of the fortunates because I've seen other people go through withdrawals while I was in jail and they're like dying. And I'm glad that wasn't me. I probably would have not made it through.
Alright. I'm trying to think what question I want to go. What scared you the most while you were actively in your addiction?
I didn't really have a lot of fear because I was high all the time. I didn't really think about that. Like, I only had a one-track mind. I just wanted to get high and numb whatever I was going through and what I felt. So I didn't really have a fear, I guess. I mean, I knew I always could get money, so I was never afraid of not being able to get high. But I don't know, I guess maybe I didn't really even fear dying, but I mean, I just feared like my kids growing up without me, but it was never like a fear of death. But I guess I really didn't have too many fears. I just had a one-track mind.
All right. What kind of hopes or goals do you have going forward?
Oh, I have a lot of hopes and goals. I actually made a goals list. It's here somewhere. But I don't know. I have like probably 15 or 20 goals that I'm wanting to accomplish in the next year. And the first one is getting a job, getting an apartment, getting the kids back. And then actually on my goals list too is to have clean drug screens for a year and to take a vacation with you, which we're doing this weekend. So that's one goal crossed off. And then taking a family vacation, saving $1,000, buying a new car or another car, getting my license back, completing probation successfully, which I've done for one of the 2 probations I was on. Well, I don't know if it was successful, but I'm not on probation anymore. I just finished my time instead of being on probation for 2 years instead of doing 11 days. So
I think that's pretty logical.
I don't know, just a lot of like family goals, getting back what I lost and putting back the pieces to the broken mess I left behind.
Now, thinking back to your active addiction. And when I told you the story of you overdosing in the shower and me having to hit you with Narcan, like, looking back on it, is it surprising at all? Had you realized that it had gotten that far? Was it an intentional kind of thing? Like, what? Go through that moment in time and where you were at mentally.
Well, the night I overdosed, I don't know, like, I had a lot of mixed emotions. I was fresh out of jail after, only 12 days at that point. But I don't know, when I got out of jail, I didn't really have a whole lot. My kind of thoughts were, great, it's great to be out, but fuck, I just lost my kids and I don't have really anything left to live for. And within, I don't know, a half hour, I was back to using drugs. I was snorting cocaine with people I was getting high with before and snorting heroin. And so, I mean, I guess it was like back to the races. And then when I finally made it home that night, knew I had shit hidden. So it was like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna do a shot and that's that. And at the time, I didn't think that the amount I was doing would kill me, but at the same time, I wasn't trying not to kill me, because it just felt like there was nothing left that I could destroy. So what would be the point of continuing to live? And I don't know. I didn't feel anything. Like, I remember being in the shower and I remember, doing up my shot and then hitting, and the last thing I thought about was, I don't even remember how hot the water was, maybe. I have no idea.
Fuck, I hope my head don't hit the fucking faucet.
No, that didn't even cross my mind because I didn't plan on hitting the floor. But, I don't know, I didn't really even have a thought. It was just like, I can't wait to not feel the hurt that I'm feeling and the emotions that I'm feeling, and the next thing I know, I'm out. The next memory I have was vaguely remember you telling me that the police are coming and seeing lights and running out of the house naked with a towel in front of me. And then the first distinct memory I have is the police officer calling me by name and asking me what the fuck I'm doing to get my ass back in the house and put some clothes on. And then I remember walking in the house, and my first thought when I get in the house is, oh, fuck, I'm going to go back to jail. I'm not doing that. Well, let me hide my shit so I can do it later. But,
So, in that time, fair to say, pretty typical, like, junkie kind of mentality.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like,
I didn't give a fuck. I just got
shit.
Narcan, and that the paramedics are in my driveway, and I got cops at the front door. I'm running in the bathroom, closing the door, hiding my shit, and throwing clothes on, praying to God I don't go to jail because I'm in a house I'm not supposed to be at, and I've only been out for a couple hours. And will let me get them the fuck out of my house so I can go back and get even higher.
It's a bold strategy. I don't recommend it. What do you think kept you from getting clean sooner?
Myself, my own excuses, because I don't know, I was so caught up in like the lifestyle of it and just the constant always having somewhere to go, something to do, something to get, to acquire, to trade,
Like the pursuit of?
just the pursuit of it. And then I don't know, it was just like, I can't even say that I was sick all the time, because there were a lot of days I woke up and I'd feel a little on edge, but I wasn't sick, but it was just, it was such a normal thing for me to get up and chase all day, to come home and then just sit around at night, obliterated out of my mind to where I'm slurring and can't even form a sentence, and then denying that I'm that high. But I don't know, it was like, I wanted to get help, but I didn't want to go the Suboxone route, and I didn't want to have to go through the withdrawals, and I just found every excuse to not go through with it. I kept saying, oh, I'm going to do it this day, and then that day would come, and, well, okay, I'm back to the chase again. And you can tell them, I don't know how many times, you just got to the point where okay, don't even put a date on it anymore because I'm tired of hearing about it. But it was so much. I was wrapped up in the lifestyle of it that was just my normal. I didn't know how to be normal outside of that, or how to even begin to be normal outside of that. And then, having the kids with us all the time, it was like I could never just take time to try to sleep the sickness away, or to isolate myself enough to where I could go through it and just deal with it and not have anybody be around me when I just wanted to be left the fuck alone. And I didn't want to take myself out of the picture for a week or so at a time, because it was every time I went to rehab, it was just a way to find another connect, or, another using buddy or whatever. That was all rehab ever was for me. And yeah, I was there for the right reasons, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't. I hadn't hit bottom. I hadn't had enough time for my head to get clear to realize the aftermath of my destruction and what it really did to not only me, but everyone around me that loves me.
Alright. Do you think, and this ain't on the paper at all, I'm just blocking shit off as I ask. Do you think if you didn't go to jail, you'd still be sitting here right now saying you're clean for 4 months?
Absolutely not. I'd be dead. Absolutely 100%. I know that full-heartedly. Like, if I wouldn't have gone to jail, and if I wouldn't have detoxed in jail, and then, gone to CTF, as much as people say it sucks, which it does, I learned a lot there and had the time, and I was fortunate enough to have a good group of girls that were there, and we talked about some, like, real serious shit. And it helped me to kind of take the time to actually have a somewhat clear head and, not be under the influence of anything. But no, I mean, if I wouldn't have gone to jail, I would be 6 feet under. I would have had a funeral, and my kids would be looking at me through pictures. Like, there's no way I'd be sitting here right now. Absolutely not.
Speaking of funerals and overdoses, and this is where it's gonna get tough. Shortly after getting out of jail and looking forward to resuming a sober, clean lifestyle, your friend from high school, Joe, unfortunately passed away from an overdose and left behind, significant other, 2 kids. And you went to his memorial. We went to his memorial. And I guess this is the part of the video where, it'll get pretty serious and show the real effects of addiction. Do you think having a close friend die because of the demons you battled, like, does it change how you view, like, wanting to stay clean, addiction in general, your lifestyle at that point? Because it could have been you. Like, does it change how you view things? And
I mean, yeah, I found out about that, the day after I got out of jail?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because I got out on Friday and he overdosed on Saturday. And, for me, it just, I guess more than anything, it's just a reminder, like, nobody's an exception. Like, realistically, that was me, and by the grace of God and you being there, like, I'm still sitting here because you were there to Narcan me. His situation, whatever it may have been, he wasn't as fortunate. And I don't know, it's more motivation, I guess. More motivation, but then at the same time, it makes me angry.
Fair. I mean, I guarantee most of you guys watching this right now, you've buried a friend. Or you've buried your child. You've buried a parent. You've buried a sister or brother, whatever the case, cousin, whatever. I don't think it's something that we can't relate to, going through the lifestyle we've chose to go through.
It's just, it still doesn't feel real.
So, I think that this will be the little moment where we just kind of take a second and just remember this dude. And remind ourselves it could have been any of us. Any one of us. Me, I'm no different. What is the biggest regret about your addiction or behavior during whatever? The number one biggest regret you have?
Probably. I said I'm not gonna cry.
They've seen me cry on here. I've done this since This is a warts and all kind of channel, man. Welcome to the jungle, baby.
This is what I didn't want. My biggest regret is probably letting it get to the point where it affected my judgment as far as some of the decisions I made with regards to the kids.
Fair enough. Everybody watch, they know. They know we got the kids taken. I've been pretty fucking open about it. What would be one message that you have right now for anybody still currently struggling or still on the fence? I want to get clean, I'm too scared, you know, treatment's hard to get into, whatever fucking excuse there is, because there's a million of them to not get clean. What advice would you give them?
Oh my gosh, what kind of advice would I give them? If you truly want it, then, you know, I guess pray about it. But just keep going and don't settle for no. Because whether it's, well, we don't take your insurance, or, because I got that a few times too, 2 days into detox. So, well, you got to go because we don't take your insurance. It's an outpatient process in their eyes. I don't know, I guess my thing is like when I was in my full-blown addiction, I didn't see the reason or the point. Like I just felt like the feelings and emotions that I was dealing with, and you know, that they would get better by using. But I mean, realistically, like, you know, I'm sitting here now and I still have some of those feelings and emotions, but I mean, being kind of on the other side, you know, I've only been out of jail 2 weeks, but like, I don't know, the moments and like the things in the last 2 weeks, I don't know, like, it's just, life is so much more beautiful on the other side of it. You know, I have like hope for the future. I mean, he got a job. I have 2 interviews in the next 4 or 5 days. I've got one tomorrow morning, one Tuesday, and I kind of already have a job. So, I mean, it's things like I prayed about for a long time while I was in jail, like, you know, because I was so lost. And like my biggest fight was within myself, and just accepting that, okay, this is who I am. Like, I'm an addict, but I didn't know how to really live without being an addict, because I lost sight of that over the last 3 years. But I guess in reality, like, if you want it, just keep going and pray, and literally God will move mountains to make things happen. I mean, the things that have happened in the 2 weeks, like, it's crazy, but, like, I was praying about it in jail, like, you know, let Brian find a job and, you know, let me get out and not use, and, you know, to see, I don't know, genuine smiles on our kids' faces again. Like, I don't know, you gotta find what makes you happy and what drives you. And don't stop until you get it. You know, I'm so determined and motivated because I don't want to miss out on the things with my kids.
Speaking of the kids, fresh out of jail, it was a few days until you could see them. Obviously, I mean, Mason knew that you would be there that night. Landon, I'm sure, knew it too, but didn't. You know, he's 2. What kind of emotions or thoughts or feelings were running through your head, and did you expect to be as warmly embraced as you were?
At visitation?
Yeah.
I mean, when I first got out of jail, it was more or less like, okay, I can finally see my husband now. I can actually give my husband a hug. I can actually kiss my husband for the first time in, you know, 4 months. And, you know, it's nice because, we've been together almost 12 years, and you're used to going to bed every night and sleeping next to somebody, and then all of a sudden you're by yourself. And...
or sleeping in a car.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But, you know, you don't have that person to talk to. You don't. And you don't have that person to call you on your bullshit, or to help keep you in line, or to help diffuse you when you're pissed off and you just want to, you know, punch somebody or something. Like, it's hard. And so it was like the excitement of, okay, well, I get to see my husband, but then it's like, well, fuck, I don't even, like, how is that gonna go? Because there's so much that's happened. You know, how do you put that back together? And then it's okay, well, first day is great, second day, for the most part, it's great, and then it's like third day, okay, we're arguing because we're both kind of like, okay, well, it's great, the last 2 days have been great, but all these emotions and feelings are still there. So it's, well, let's talk about it, or let's try to figure it out, but neither one of us really know how we're feeling because there's so much hurt behind it. And then, you know, when we got to see the kids, you know, I expected the kids to be excited. You know, Mason knew. Landon, he's probably too young to remember, but, like, they were so excited. They were so excited. And it just reassured, like, everything that I'm working for, like, this is why. And just to keep going and never disappoint them again. And, you know, as we're at our visit, you know, I'm trying to juggle both of them because they're both so excited to see me. They haven't seen me in months. And they're used to seeing, you know, you at visits, but it's like, oh, mommy, like something new. But then, you know, during part of the visit, I look over and Mason's just constantly watching me. And he's kind of like feeling out the situation. And it's like, I get why he's doing that, because he'd watch me sit there and be high and nod out and, you know, be stupid all the time. So he's like sitting there to make sure, like, is this my mom or is this my drug addict mom? Like, who is this person? And it sucks, but it's like, I get it. I can't be mad at the kid. You know, he's trying to figure it out as much as I am. Like, who am I now? You know, now that the drugs and the bullshit are gone, you know, who am I now? And, you know, it was the best visit I could have hoped for. You know, and it's gotten better. You know, this week when I went to see him, it was great, but I'm still trying to figure out how to juggle them both, you know, and deal with the emotions and the feelings and the things that Mason saw. Like, how do I make that right with him? How do I reassure him, like, it's me, it's not, you know,
the zombie mom.
Right, the zombie mom, as he called it. But, you know, that's my hardest struggle. But I mean, those kids are so excited to see me every week. Like me, not the zombie me. You know, and it just keeps, I don't know, keeps me motivated, I guess.
Are you asking me or telling me?
No, that's like, I guess the best word I can say. It keeps me motivated just to keep doing what I'm doing, to help reassure them, to help them kind of get their guard down.
It keeps you honest. Alright, the last question I have on here. What do you think when people say or believe that an addict gets what they deserve when they overdose? Or the whole once an addict, always an addict bullshit?
That honestly pisses me off. And I guess, like, I don't know, I don't think just because somebody's an addict, they deserve to die. Like, that's like saying because because you have the flu, you deserve to die. Because realistically, that's how common it is to be an addict nowadays. So it's like, okay, so just because somebody's sick, they deserve to die. I mean, it's bullshit, and it pisses me off because, like, so many of us that are, addicts, like, we have pain and feeling and emotions just like everybody else does. But for whatever reason, we turn to drugs or alcohol to cope with those things. And for me, like, I don't know how to cope with shit. I just don't. I'm one of those people, like, I don't like talking about how I'm feeling. I hate it. I hate crying. I fucking hate it. So I do everything I possibly can to not feel those emotions, to not show those emotions, talk about them and everything. So for me, it's like that pain just and that frustration and feelings and emotions, they all just compile up, and I need an outlet. And for me, it was, 6 years that I was clean before that. It was just everything, and it was like I just wanted something for me so that I could have something for me that I can control. And little did I know I couldn't control it in the end, but like nobody deserves to die. That's like saying Joe deserved to die because he's an addict. He's got 2 beautiful kids. I mean, he's what, 32 years old, 33 years old? So
33.
I mean, it's not even fair. I don't know, and a lot of us have anxiety or depression or PTSD or, whatever, bipolar. We all have our different reasons, but it's not an excuse, but if we could, like, suck it up and address those first, because that's how mine started, was postpartum. Postpartum and frustration and anger and not knowing how to deal with any of it and feeling alone. I think the biggest thing is we don't like to reach out and ask for help. And so we take to our own devices, and sometimes our devices kill us. It did me, 7 times. So, I think that more than anything, people need to realize that it's not so uncommon as everybody thinks. Like, being an addict, there's lawyers and doctors that are addicts. That doctor, the hospital that's treating your flu could be a recovering addict. You don't know. You never know. So to say somebody gets what they deserve because they're an addict or they OD'd, like, that's fucking bullshit.
Indeed it is.
It just pisses me off. Like, if you even had any idea what we go through, you might be a little more empathetic.
Alright, so that concludes this little interview. I know it's been 29 minutes. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I truly hope you guys watch this entire thing. I promised you guys a long time ago it'd be warts and all. Like, I don't care how ugly this shit gets. I want it to be as honest, as raw, and as emotional as possible. If you guys have any questions,
feel free to ask. I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide.
Questions for her, questions for me. Questions for her as someone newly clean. Questions for me as far as, you know, standing by somebody's side as they go through addiction and what it takes and how frustrating and hard it can be.
Like,
but
this
how
shit's not
easy
easy.
it can be if you allow it to. Just making a marriage last despite someone sabotaging absolutely everything about it. Just anything. Any question you guys could have, comment below. Down there. There's going to be some little area. Type shit in. We will answer it. You guys already know I read every single comment. I reply to 99% of them. I've made my phone number available countless times. The number has changed. By the way, it's now 419-461-4507. Stephanie can give hers if she so chooses.
Mine's 419-269-7874. You can text or call me. If you just need to talk or you're frustrated or whatever, I get it. I've been there. Still going through it, but I'm just not willing to give up. I got too much to live for.
Don't be afraid to call. Like, anytime, I don't give a fuck if it's 4:30 in the morning. If you feel like you're about to use, if you feel like you're about to give up, if you feel like you'd rather die, whatever the case may be, fucking call me. I'll answer the phone. Call my wife. Call either of us. I would rather listen to you cry and vent and yell and scream than have to listen to a pastor deliver your eulogy. So, reach out.
I can't do no more eulogies right now.
Nah, funerals suck.
Nope.
So we'll end this with a little rest in peace, Joe. Unfortunately, man, you're another good dude gone. But hopefully all you guys can find some inspiration in this shit. We stay clean in honor of everybody who can't or who's already lost. Yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time.